When I opened the front door that evening, my wife, Clara, was sitting on the couch scrolling through her phone. She barely looked up until she noticed the woman standing beside me. Her face immediately twisted with confusion and anger. "Daniel, who is she?" she demanded, her voice sharp enough to cut through the silence. I could see her hands trembling as she stood up, eyes darting between me and the woman who quietly stood by the doorway. I tried to calm her down, raising my hands slowly. "Clara, please, let me explain before you say anything." But she wasn't listening. The color drained from her face, replaced by fiery red. "Explain? You bring another woman into our home, and you want me to listen?" she shouted, her voice echoing through the house. I could tell the neighbors might hear, but that didn't matter to her. Betrayal was the only thing she could see. The woman beside me, Emily, looked terrified. She clutched her bag tightly, taking a small step back. "Maybe I should go," she whispered. I shook my head. "No, please stay. You deserve to be here." That only made Clara angrier. "Deserve? In my house!" she screamed, glaring at me like she didn't even recognize who I was anymore. For a few painful seconds, the room was filled with nothing but Clara's heavy breathing. I took a deep breath and spoke softly. "Clara, she's not who you think she is. Please, sit down." But Clara refused. She crossed her arms and stood firm. "I'm not sitting until you tell me what's going on," she snapped. So, I told her. I told her that 3 months ago, while cleaning out my late mother's attic, I found a box of old letters and a photograph of my father holding a baby girl who wasn't me. The letters revealed the truth I never knew. Before marrying my mother, my father had another child from a brief relationship. That child had been given up, and my father had spent years searching for her before he died. Clara blinked, her anger momentarily dimmed by confusion. "What are you saying?" she asked quietly. "I'm saying," I continued, "this woman, Emily, she's my half-sister." The silence that followed was deafening. Clara's face went pale. She looked at Emily again, really looked, and noticed the resemblance. The same hazel eyes, the same slightly crooked smile. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. The anger melted away, replaced by shock and a bit of shame. Emily took a small step forward and spoke timidly. "I didn't even know about Daniel until recently. When I found those letters from your father, I reached out. He was gone, but Daniel answered. We met a few times, and today, he wanted to introduce me to his family." Her voice was shaking, but sincere. Clara slowly sank into the nearest chair, covering her face with her hands. "Oh my God," she murmured. "I thought—" Her voice trailed off. She didn't finish the sentence, but I knew what she meant. She thought I had betrayed her. After years of trust, she thought I had brought home a mistress. I sat beside her and gently touched her hand. "I understand why you reacted that way," I said softly. "Anyone would have. But I promise you, Clara, I would never do that to you. I just wanted you to meet my sister, the only family I have left from my father's side." Clara lifted her head slowly, her eyes red with embarrassment. She looked at Emily, who stood quietly, clearly unsure whether she was welcome. "I'm so sorry," Clara whispered. "I didn't know. I shouldn't have yelled like that." Emily gave her a small, forgiving smile. "It's okay. If I were you, I would have done the same." After a few long moments, Clara got up and walked toward Emily. She extended her hand awkwardly. "Welcome to our home," she said softly. Emily hesitated, then shook her hand, a tear slipping down her cheek. It was the start of something fragile but hopeful. The rest of the evening was quiet but peaceful. I made tea for everyone, and as we sat together, the tension began to ease. Clara asked Emily about her life, her childhood, and how she'd found me. Slowly, smiles replaced the earlier storm of anger. By the time the night ended, it felt like our home had gained not just forgiveness but family. When Emily left later that night, Clara turned to me and said, "I guess I overreacted." I smiled and pulled her close. "You reacted like someone who loves me," I replied. She nodded, leaning her head on my shoulder. "Next time," she said quietly, "maybe start with, 'Honey, this is my sister.'" I laughed softly, the sound of peace finally returning to our home. That night, I realized something simple yet powerful. Sometimes, the truth isn't what breaks a family. It's the silence before the truth comes out.